September 25th, the new Fox Tuesday kicks off with New Girl's new season. Then welcome Ben and Kate.
Stay away from my sister before you find out what 6 years of Krav Maga feels like. Well, like year and a half plus like 4 years on and off I was traveling.
Followed by another all-new New Girl.
What am I looking at here?
Pure, unadulterated friendship.
And the Mindy Project.
Can't believe you're tattling.
Tattling is when a little girl does it, okay? When a hot woman does it, it's called whistleblowing.
The new Fox Tuesday, premieres September 25th on Fox.
You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV Network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith Johnson.
From the AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com, and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is AfterBuzz TV's Homeland After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AfterBuzz TV's Homeland After Show.
Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining us. Bingers, we are doing another AfterBuzz TV After Show for Homeland. This is our preview podcast for Season 2 of the hit Showtime series. And my name is John Comerford. I'm joined in the studio by the ever-insightful, inimitable Thaddeus Massey.
Thank you. I like that introduction.
That's right. And helming our podcast this evening, I should say, is Marissa Serafini.
Hello, everyone.
Who may not be joining us too much because she doesn't watch the show. But
we love her anyway.
Okay, so yeah, exactly. We love her anyway. Okay, lots to talk about. Last season, we saw the creators, Gordon, Ganza, and the rest of the crew, being able to tell an extremely strong narrative. Lots of reveals, plenty of character work, many questions left unanswered. And the chief question I have for us right now, which may be being decided as we speak, since the Emmys are being broadcast right now, is will Homeland win for Best Series? Best drama, I should say.
Right. It's hard to tell.
It is hard to tell, but you have information regarding the other nominations it got, right?
Congrats.
What do you know already?
Oh, my gosh.
You were watching the Emmys earlier.
I was watching them. I was sneaking some peeks before we jumped in the studio, and, Damian Lewis took it home.
Which is just amazing to me because I was shocked because I thought for sure they'd give it to Cranston or Ham.
That's what you would think.
Yeah.
And he pulled it out and he came up and he was on stage and it was charming and brought that British flair.
Of course, yeah. With a nice
over
accent.
the pond.
And there's a lot of people who've seen the show that don't know he's British.
Right.
And so that probably would have freaked them out right then.
Yeah, I think it would have.
Not only was he a terrorist, he's British.
Right.
No. So, was he shocked, by the way? When he went up there, did he seem surprised?
He was surprised. The competition was thick.
Yeah, extremely.
I look at the list of nominees.
He was a dark horse.
Yeah, he was. And you look at the list of nominees and you're like, oh, wow.
Yeah, forget it. And
he pulled it out and you're like, oh my gosh, that's amazing.
For real.
So I was taken aback by it, but at the same time I wasn't surprised because he's performed.
Oh, he certainly earned it. I mean, the guy, he's got his bona fides are amazing, and he did great things. He's got good chops.
Yeah.
But I'm just still stunned. When you told me, I just couldn't believe it. I thought for sure Cranston or Ham.
Yeah. So did I.
Because Ham, this is his 5th nomination, hasn't won anything.
Right.
Cranston's won 2 in a row, and he did a great job this season as well.
Yeah.
So I'm just stunned by that. And the other side of the coin.
The other side of the coin is Claire Danes takes it home.
Yeah, now that one. Yeah, that one was expected.
Give it up. After buzzers, give it up.
Now, she was a front runner, so that was kind of expected. Anytime you play somebody with that kind of bipolar disorder, whatever, something like that, the Emmys are going to go, hey, she's amazing.
Right.
Not that she didn't deserve it, because she did do it. She did an amazing job, too.
Yeah, she looked beautiful. She's pregnant right now.
Yeah.
Expecting, but she looked gorgeous on stage.
Right. And they've been filming all around that pregnancy, by the way.
Yeah, they have. That might have helped her get in character a little bit, with the most.
That's right.
The hormonal changes.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, because she's nuts.
Right.
So, okay. All right. So, and then, of course, you also heard that they won
Yes, the writers.
Writers, right.
So Howard Gordon, Alex Gonza.
Yeah.
I mean, they take it home. That's
Man,
3.
so this
That's
is
3.
looking really good
Homeland.
for a series.
Yeah. So for series,
Yeah.
I don't know yet. I can't spoil you guys with that
yeah,
one.
well, we don't know.
We
I mean,
don't know.
it's probably going to happen
Yeah,
during this podcast.
yeah.
But you win Best Actor, Best Actress,
Yes.
Best Writing.
Yes.
I mean, my God, that looks really good, really
Yeah.
strong for Best Series.
Yeah, they were sweeping it up.
Yeah,
You know,
which
they had
is,
the broom out.
You know, I mean, I'm really shocked because I mean, it didn't win some awards earlier. You know, Claire Danes, of course, won for I forgot which award it was, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, so if we find out during this, well, I guess we'll have to announce it. I hope we can find out. You know, we'll get our crack staff on that.
Right. Keep your seatbelts on.
Exactly. All right. So now that's the topical part of this evening.
Yeah.
So we hope it wins. It does a great job.
Yeah, I hope it wins.
So now we got to move on. Oh, before we go any further, we want to thank everybody for tuning into iTunes and downloading and leaving their comments and things like that. That's really helpful to us. Not only is it helpful, it's just really appreciated. I want to thank you for tuning in and listening to us and being fans. It's what's brought us to what are we getting? 6 million downloads a week or so? I don't know how much, 75 different countries around the world. I mean, it's just growing like leaps and bounds. And it's all because of you, and we thank you for that. And we appreciate that you're telling friends, because that's the thing that helps us grow, keeps our lights on here. So we want to keep doing that. Now, okay. I want to start with Carrie.
Okay.
And talk about her exploits last season and where we think she's going to go this season. I mean, here she starts out as, pretty young crack, CIA agent or whatever. And, I thought they laid in nicely her little bipolar thing for getting her pills. And then, in the middle of the season, towards the 3/4 mark, she starts really just going off the reservation a little bit.
Right. And she didn't help herself either.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Yeah.
And tell me, because I told you I'd ask you what the most compelling things were. And we immediately started talking about the fact that she ends up sleeping with this guy that thinks she's a terrorist.
That to me is like, you always have to have the love story, but the fact that this love story is, or love triangle, should I put, is so twisted. It's
nuts.
So like how they incorporated it. It's just like kind of demented but realistic in the same the same time.
Yeah,
so
because they did a great job of setting her up as somebody who is morally ambiguous about her,
her identity, who she is.
Well, about her, she's certainly no prude. Let's put it that way.
Right.
But that doesn't seem to be. And I was always curious because they did a really good job of being ambiguous about this as well.
Yeah.
Did she sleep with him just to stay close and keep an eye on him, or did she just want to have fun with him, or is it because she doesn't think real well in those kinds of situations?
I think it was she just was too involved.
Yeah, I
think she just got too involved in.
Or as you said earlier, he's good.
He's the man.
That's why
he probably popped in some British accent behind the scenes.
That's right. That's what did it for him.
That reeled her in.
Yeah. Is it the danger thing? He might be a terrorist. It's a good bad guy thing. I mean, what, Marissa? You as speaking of the only female here today, is it because he's a bad boy? Is that why?
Probably.
So yeah.
And he's British.
And he's British, but not in the series. I mean, okay. So it's because he's got the bad boy thing going on.
I think she was trying to get close. I think she probably used that and had to make herself believe that she was falling for him in order for her to get him to believe that she's falling for him in order for her to get close enough to him.
Yeah,
I think it was a double thing. I think there's part of him
very layered
that wants to believe. Part of her, it's very layered. There's a big onion going on with this situation. she wants to believe that he's this hero.
Right.
That
who
comes
doesn't?
back.
Yeah.
Secondly, she wants to be in love with the with the guy. Just as a woman. Mm-hmm. Thirdly, she wants to be a good agent, and she wants to find out, get to the root. This is more important than anything. Yeah. She wants to get to the root of, is this guy really what my worst fears are? Mm-hmm. I have to, let me delve deeper. And, of course, if she gets intimate with him, then she probably feels she can get intimate with him as far as information and intel is concerned.
Yeah, but, every time, they always say you never get emotionally involved with an asset or a liability. You stay at arm's distance. But I think, like we've been talking about, she's completely layered. I thought they did a great job of you're not knowing exactly what her motives are,
right.
or even if she was aware of them. Because, for my mind, it could be just that here she is, this woman who's got this condition, and in some ways is separate from society because she's different than everybody else. She has this mind that works in a different way, and here this other guy is, who's different from everybody else, and he's separated from society. He can't quite fit in just yet, and that's where I think that they found each other in that ability, and that way that's what one of the things that brought them together, and she finally found somebody she could in some way relate to.
Yeah, it's definitely like they're in this bubble.
Yeah,
and it's like their own universe, and just like you just said, it's like they can only understand each other based on their experiences, based on her experiences as an agent, based on the lifestyle, the life that she leads, and the experiences that he's had, what he's coming from. So there's definitely some empathy that she has with him, that he has with her. I think they see reflections of each other. Yeah. So this is why it's easier for him, even though he has a beautiful wife. Yeah. She's hot. He has a wife. Oh my gosh, she's amazing. Yeah, she is. But I think it's easier for him because he sees something that understands him. Yeah. And sympathizes with him, and a part of her does do that.
And I also think because it's not his wife, he doesn't have a history with her. Right. So it's easier to be who he is now because he has no history to have to deal with. Exactly. With his wife, he's got everything that came before him, and now he's a different person. He doesn't know how to fit that in with her, and she doesn't know how to react to him. Exactly. So it's easier to be in the present now with somebody else than have to deal with the history.
It's just
which is a strange. Yeah, but okay, we'll get to him in a second. But the other thing I thought was really interesting is what you said, is that she really there's a part of her that wants him to be that hero. Yeah. But because she has all this information, having this prisoner, the first episode when this prisoner says that one of the POWs was turned, she's got that in the back of her mind, all this evidence that points to him, or not even evidence, some of it's just conjecture on her part. Right. So she wants him to be this hero because who doesn't want a guy coming back from being in prison, POW for 8 years, whatever the hell it was. Yeah. And making it back and having a full life, you want that, because who doesn't need heroes in this lifetime? Exactly. But all this other stuff is so even in her bipolarness, that is polarized. Yeah. She's got her own polarization going on. Is he a hero? Is he a terrorist? I don't know. I mean, so she's polarized like crazy.
Yeah. It's she's being pulled in a few different directions with the whole situation. Yeah. So.
And Saul, of course, is trying to keep her grounded, centered, and poor guy's
he's earning his check right now.
No kidding, my God, I feel horrible for that guy. I feel horrible for that guy.
What can you do? It's oh my gosh. And he's being pulled in different directions as well. Oh having to do his job and then having to discipline her and keeping her because she's so good at what she does, keeping her on the task as well. So. Yeah. He's having a lot of issues as well.
Right. Well, I think you just said it, because she's a polarizing entity of herself. She polarizes people. Yeah. They either think she's brilliant or she's get her out of here. Yeah. And Saul is always either defending her or chastising her. Yeah. Would you quit being an idiot? Right. Don't sleep with the guy. Right. And the other thing is, okay, you have to do what so he's always defending her. Yeah. I think that I love that relationship. In fact, they had the article the other I think it was last week in the Times. Manny Patinkin was talking about it, how in his mind when he saw it, there's this. The show, in some respects, to him is about true love, and that true love that his character has for Carrie. Saul has for Carrie, because he really does go to bat for her. He really does love her unconditionally, even though she makes even the fact that she tried to play him and treat him like every other person that she's conned. He was just incensed by that.
Right.
And then, but he still defends her. He still believes in her. He still loves her, and
it's like his kid.
In fact, he even said that. He's like, she is like the daughter I never had in real life. So that thing has always been there for them, that kind of chemistry. Yeah. Which I think was great to see, because with such a strong narrative and all this intrigue and thrilling moments and that tense, taut kind of thing going on, it's nice to have those human kind of relationships going on the other side. That's what keeps it full and round. I like that a lot.
Yeah, that makes it real.
But poor Saul.
Yeah, poor
lost
Saul.
his wife.
Oh my gosh.
She's decided I'm not gonna. You married to the job, and I can't believe it took her that long to get to that point.
Yeah, I know, right? How long he's been in there for 30 something years.
Yeah, something like that. She finally said,
and now all of a sudden
I'm done.
Right? Like,
really now?
This out,
wait a minute.
20 years ago.
Yeah, exactly.
He's like, okay.
But I thought the best scene with him was when she'd already left, and he's in the office, and he's looking around for something to eat, and he finds the crackers and the peanut butter.
Yeah.
And he's got nothing to put the peanut butter on the cracker. He reaches in his drawer and he pulls out a wooden ruler.
Oh yeah.
And he spreads the peanut butter on the cracker. I'm going, but that is a sad life right there. That's a sad personal life, I should say.
That's worse than a bachelor.
Yeah, exactly. Eating over the sink.
Right.
No, he's at his desk.
Right.
Let me use this wooden ruler. There you go. Slap that peanut butter. Tasty. Yeah, that warm home cooked meal.
That was a funny scene.
Yeah, it was nice. I'm telling you, that was really good. But I feel bad for Saul because and the other thing about Saul that I wanted to talk about. He never really passed that lie detector test.
That's true.
And I thought that was really, they left that, there's one of the many questions they left unanswered. It's like, okay, so whoa, wait a minute.
Right.
And they just let it go.
Yeah.
And I go, oh, well, they're going to have to come back to that at some point. What the hell is that?
Yeah.
That was pretty...
they are going to touch on that.
Yeah, they better touch on that.
Howard, Alex.
Yeah, that's right. I hope you're listening. You better deal with that. You didn't answer that.
I think one of the things that's interesting also is that there's so much emotion with Carrie and being pulled in all these different directions of what's going on with this case or whatnot, that Saul is so like, he's just very, the hand gesture I just made,
compartmentalized. He's very regimented.
He's very straight. He has a straight face. He doesn't really show a lot of emotion. It leads me to think now that maybe he used to be bipolar and he got control of it or something. Like maybe Carrie is on that road to be just emotionless and like, the case. It's the case. This is, you can't get emotionally involved. It's all X's and O's. It's black and white. It's on the paper. You got to handle it like this and handle it like that. And she's a star pupil, so she's in the training path of becoming just like him. He's going to end up like him. Right. Oh, man. Stay on your meds. Don't sleep with your kids.
I think that may be another reason why she decided to sleep with Brody. Because she didn't want to end up like that.
Maybe
Who knows?
So.
I don't know.
Maybe
I don't know.
So.
She certainly needed something in her life. That wasn't just the job. It wasn't enough for her. So, but Saul, I mean, I like that. Yeah, he's he's just that great grizzled veteran. He's been through everything. He's seen everything. I mean, the way he went into the vice president. And basically, I think Vice President Walden called it blackmailing him or whatever, to get the information he needed. I mean, that's what, of course, he knows every skeleton there's ever been in any closet. He's got not only does he know it, he's got the evidence to back it up on his little discs and this and that. So that's what I think is great about that guy.
He doesn't pull any punches.
And the other thing is he doesn't have... what I like about his character, he doesn't have the career ambitions that, say, Deputy Director Estes has. Deputy Director Estes clearly has career aspirations that he's tied to the vice president. And as the vice president succeeds, he'll go up the chain. Saul doesn't. He's not interested. He really does just want to try to protect the homeland.
Right.
He doesn't care about the career ambitions. He's not interested in that.
He's not.
Which I like that kind of definitiveness, but that's he's paid a price for that. Because he's so committed to that. Of course,
his personal life is obviously horrible.
Oops. So what? You're leaving? I like that. It's almost like he was shocked that it was happening. What? You're gonna go? Why? This is so much fun. I'm always here for you. So.
Anybody bumped off?
Exactly. All right. Let's. Oh, that's right. We got to talk about this before we get to Brody and his arc. Let's face it. We all love a good comedy. It's human nature, for God's sake. And I want to talk about the Fox premiere Tuesday. It's stacked with them. We got Zooey Deschanel. She's back on the season with premiere of New Girl, and boom, just like that, she's laid off. She's looking for work. So this is going to be a lot of fun for the audience. And then Family's a Funny Thing. So from the producers of New Girl, it's a new series critics are calling one of the year's best comedies. It's called Ben and Kate, and that comes on right after New Girl. And then right after that, another New Girl. So it keeps on rolling.
Love New Girl.
I know, sweet, right? And then after that, they got Mindy Kaling and her new new series. It's called the Mindy Kaling. No, it's just a mini project. The mini project.
She's funny.
Yeah, she is funny. And I'm telling you, if you're looking for laughs tonight, Fox premiere Tuesdays, it's got you covered. So it's beginning September 25th at 8 p.m. Check out Fox's lineup. They got New Girl, Ben and Kate, then another new girl, and then the mini project. So that should be a lot of fun for everybody.
Yeah.
So tune into that.
Go Fox.
All right, now Brody. This is what I loved about Brody. So the first time you see him, he looks. I mean, I love the reveal. The first time you see him, you can barely tell it's a human they're dragging out of that cave. I mean, the hair's all over his face.
Chewbacca.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, oh my
Chewbacca
God.
Brody.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's nice. We should call him that. I'm an American, and he's not even American. His first lines are a lie.
Right.
Crying out loud.
Right.
Right, so. And then we see him going through the thing, and when you're watching it, they did a great job. Is he a terrorist? Is he not a terrorist?
Right.
Is he, I mean, so many different, and they had everybody going. I thought that was great.
Yeah.
But then when you find out that what's really going on, man, and then I liked how his character was always lying about what happened, or covering, I should say, what he did and what happened to him. And wouldn't you? I mean, if you were in his place and they tortured you and they made you beat up your guy and made you, well, he thought he killed him.
He was there for a long time.
8 years, right?
Yeah, he was there for a long time.
I mean, would you be able to come back and go, well, they tortured me. Oh, by the way, I beat up, Tom, my best guy. Oh, yeah, I killed him. Okay, all right, here you go. So you can't say any of that, of course, because how do you face that and deal with that? And, oh, my God, so that did a good job.
Yeah.
But the weirdest thing, I have to say, and again, I'm sorry, it has to be about the sexual thing, but the whole thing with his wife.
Yeah.
The first time was just weird, and then the second time he goes, no, it's better if you don't, and she just takes off her top, and it's like, that was just
weird. Weird.
It was weird, wasn't it?
I was uncomfortable.
Yeah, it was awkward. It was weird. Awkward. It was like, oh my God, that's strange.
It's like that awkward moment when you come back from being a POW for
exactly.
Your wife.
It was weird. I mean, the look and the way that she played it is why. Who is she? I forgot her name at the moment. Marina.
Ms. Hot.
Marina Bakker. Yeah, she's hot. She's a good. She's absolutely. And she did a fabulous job, by the way. She did a terrific job as an actress. Did a great job. But I mean, the way she played that was like, oh my God, it's just horrible. Yeah. You wanted to take a shower afterwards. Yeah, it's kind of slimy.
That's an odd, situation. Like, how do you recover from that, like in a relationship?
I don't know, and why? She said go. The thing she said, go talk to somebody, go see somebody. I don't care who it is, just do it. Yeah. I go, no. I think you both need to go.
Yeah,
they really do.
They need to go counseling together.
Yeah, something. Yeah.
Dr. Phil, something.
That is bizarre. But then, which is weird, Brody. No problems with Carrie.
Right.
Hey, he's right in on it. Oh, it's fine. We're good.
Right. Because she's immersed in the same world.
Yeah.
And that's where the attraction comes from. It's part of that whole, being that relativity. Yeah. There's no relativity with his wife. He's been away from her for too long.
Yeah, and there must have been some way, because, God, 8 years, you're tortured, beaten, all the things that go through your mind, and how they broke you, and then thinking you're never going to be able to get back. Yeah. And then being thrust back into it like it never happened. Yeah. And then, oh my God, here's a family. Oh yeah, I remember my wife and these kids. They were tiny.
Yeah, they were little.
How do I deal with that stuff?
He has to be. I mean, going through so many emotional and identity. He's obviously going through identity. Yeah. An identity crisis.
Yeah. Who am I?
He doesn't know.
Am I Muslim? Am I this? Am I a terrorist? Am I a war hero? What am I? The whole thing.
The scene where his daughter caught him praying. Yeah. Remember that? Yeah. It really showed him like a breakdown in who he thought he was. Yeah. And you really saw the character come to a reflection of self. And
because it's almost like he, as long as nobody else knew about it, and he didn't have to explain it, right? It's almost like it's not real. Right. But now, wait, this person who knew me from before is seeing this new side of me. Yeah. Uh-oh.
It's like a secret life.
Exactly.
Yeah, so it was being hidden, and now that actually makes it clash. Yeah. Even more. The thing about Carrie is that Carrie represents that old life, or I'm sorry, the new life. Right. She represents the new life, and not the old one. Right. Because she's new because of the situation that he's involved with, which represents his new universe. Right. His kids represent his old life. Yeah. So now those are, the daughter represents this coming to a head. Yeah. And not the wife so much. I think the daughter more. For me, I think the daughter more, because the children have this, how people relate to their kids is just
clearly the daughter. I think it was because, remember how Isa had an effect on him too. I mean, clearly it's the child thing that's really getting to him. And if it wasn't for his daughter, he would have flipped that switch. Yeah. I mean, he tried to the first time.
Yeah.
So if it wasn't for Dana, he would have flipped the switch again.
She didn't want him to go that day.
Yeah. So, I mean, clearly the child had much more impact than the wife did for whatever reason. I guess you can write the adults you can write off a little easier.
Yeah, because it's just
rationalizing.
Yeah, his child is like, you look at that's like your legacy.
Yeah.
So what am I leaving behind? This is my child, and part of the whole brainwashing and going through whatever, it's very strongly traditional as well, and it has a lot to do with legacy and you know, what kind of impact you're leaving on the world and the message you're leaving, and having a child be involved in the situation kind of is like the epitome that defines what is he gonna do. What kind of legacy is he going to leave? What is he going to do? So that's this super conflict. That conflict is coming from his kid is like the ultimate in turmoil and the tug of war within himself.
Yeah, and that's the thing that stops him. So, I mean, it's hugely impactful.
Yeah.
All right, well, listen, before we get into predictions, let's hear our bumper. I'm sorry, I should have given you more notice for that. Sorry, Marissa. My bad. All right. So, really, what I want to go here is, last thing we saw of Carrie, she was getting her brain fried. Voluntarily. Of course, much to Saul's chagrin. So she's getting an electric shock therapy, or whatever. I can't remember the low voltage thing. I forgot what the new way they're calling it. Yeah, it's shock treatment, for lack of a better word or phrase. And just as it's happening, she remembers the connection between Isa, the young Muslim boy, and Brody. Or she remembers that there was a connection there. But, of course, now this thing is going to happen. So is she going to remember? When will she remember? I mean, these kinds of questions are going to have to be answered. They presented all these questions in the first season. They're going to have to answer them in the second season. The second season starts off 6 months later. So she's had the shock therapy. And, of course, the CIA has basically kicked her out. She's no longer working there. But will she remember? First off, let's just say that. What do you think?
Yes.
She'll remember.
She has to remember.
Well, do you think they'll bleed it out, or will she remember right away? What do you think?
I think the first third of the season.
First third. That sounds about right.
It'll start trickling in. And then it'll come clear.
I think that she's going to want to have nothing to do with the CIA at the beginning. Because it's like, you know what? I have a whole new life now. I just I'm trying to do a new thing, and so I just don't want that. But then she's going to start remembering things, and it's going to pull her back in. The CIA is going to pull her back in for some reason.
They're going to bring her in.
Yeah, we need you to do this. You need to talk to that asset. We need your information on this case or whatever it is. They're going to keep pulling her back in. And then somehow, I don't know whether they'll ever take her back though. Not officially, you know what I mean? Because with that kind of
maybe she'll be independent contractor.
That'd be great. Yeah. They're gonna hire her just like they did Blackwater kind of thing. They'll just, here you go, we'll just pay you anything. That's what'll happen.
Yeah, exactly.
That'll be
Breaking news.
What's that?
I just looked, and Homeland just won Outstanding Drama Series.
Look at that. All right. There you go. Wow.
Cha-ching.
Man.
They had to.
Yeah,
that's
with all that.
Awesome.
They had to.
That's incredible.
Congratulations, guys.
Wow.
Yes, that's amazing. Showtime is happy.
Incredible. Yeah.
We're happy too, actually.
Extremely happy. Wow. Well, I think that's a shocker to everybody that it won so many. So, and that's all we're going to read about tomorrow. I'm sure the press is going to be full of tidbits and all that kind of stuff. Stories.
Show's amazing. That's why we're here.
So we're not done. We're done? Okay. I guess we're wrapping it up. I think they're tired of listening to us, Thaddeus.
Right.
I guess we're going to have to close it out.
We'll close it out early.
All right.
We'll get in the nitty-gritty next week.
All right. Before we go into any further, Thaddeus, where can the fans hear you?
They can find me on Twitter at Club Thaddeus. At CLUBTHADDEUS.
That's it. Okay, and you can find me here, nowhere else. Don't even bother looking. It just won't happen. Okay, on behalf of Marissa Serafini, Thaddeus Massey, I'm John Comerford saying thank you for listening. We'll talk to you next time.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.